And welcome back, and it is the 7th of March, it is the Further Maths 5 a day, and let's just jump straight into the first question. Okay, now this first one is clearly functions. It is a composite functions question, and it's basically telling me that it wants me to do f 2g of x. So in other words, I'm going to do f 2g of x, which is root x minus 2. Let's just write the thing out in between. So that's going to be 2 times root x minus 2 all to the power of 4, and then I'm going to add 1. Now, if I do something to the power of 4, I'm squaring it and squaring it again. If I square a square root, it goes away. So in other words, that's going to be 2 lots of x minus 2 all squared plus 1. And I think that would probably be okay, because that's simplified enough. You could go a stage further. So I could expand the brackets. So that's going to be x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus 1. And then I could expand and collect the numbers, which is 2x squared minus 8x. Do this carefully, because it's very easy to make an error. Minus 8x. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So I think actually, to be honest, I think either that's okay or that's okay as well. They both strike me as reasonably simplified answers. Next question. Find where the matrix, gives you a matrix, maps the point minus 4, 1. Find where the matrix something maps the point. Oh, in other words, what happens to the point? Strangely worded, but okay, I think I know what that means. So that's going to be 8 minus 1 minus 7, 0. And I'm going to do that matrix to minus 4, 1. Now, I know it's going to work, but just to say it out loud anyway, so that's a 2 by 2. And that's a 2 by 1 because there's 2 rows and 1 column. These are the same, so therefore I can multiply them. And this is my new matrix, which is a 2 by 1. So in other words, I'm going to have 2 rows in my new matrix. 8 times minus 4 is minus 32. Minus 1 times 1 is minus 1. Minus 7 times minus 4 is plus 28. And 0 times anything is 0. So in other words, my final answer is going to be minus 33 and 28. Question done. Almost, because this is a vector. Technically it's a column vector, so I'm going to write my final answer as a coordinate, which is going to be minus 33, 28. And I think now I am done. Next question. Okay, this one looks quite challenging, and actually I'm pausing because I originally thought it was a quadratic function, whereby I need to change it to a quadratic, but it's actually not, is it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything to the left hand side. So that's going to be x to the 2/3 plus 2x to the minus 1/3. So basically what I started with, and then minus 3x to the 5/3. And all that's equal to 0. And then I'm going to take out an x to the minus 1/3. In other words, I'm going to factorize out an x to the minus 1/3. And that is because, well, the first term is going to be x to the 1, because 1 minus 1/3 is 2/3. The second term is going to be 2, and the final term is going to be 3x to the 6/3. 6/3 is 2, so 3x squared. And actually, I've just realized this works out quite nicely now, doesn't it? So I can then say that's going to be x to the minus 1/3 times, well, let's take the minus to the outside, and that's going to give me 3x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0, which, let's move over to here, factorizes down to, let's write this as well, so minus x to the minus 1/3 times 3x minus 2 x plus 1. Is that right? No, actually it's going to be plus 2 and minus 1. Let's just check that. So 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times minus 1 is minus 3x plus 2x minus 2. Yeah, that's correct. And that equals to 0. Let's move over here. So that equals to 0. Now, got to be careful. I want these terms to equal 0. So either that can equal 0, that can equal 0, or that can equal 0. But I need to be really careful here, because it's basically 1 over x. It's x to the 3rd, but it's still 1 over x. So therefore x can't equal 0, because otherwise I'll get 1 over 0, and that's infinity, and I'll run into a whole host of problems. So therefore it's going to be the case that x is equal to minus 2 over 3, or x is equal to 1. That's actually quite a difficult question. It's much more A-level than further maths. There's quite a lot going on in understanding what can and can't be a solution, but yeah, really nice question. Again, go through it again, make sure you're okay with that. But point is, there are only two answers, and those answers are x equals 1 or x equals minus 2/3. That's a good question, though. I like that question. Right, final question. The equation of a curve gives you an equation, tells you the maximum point and a minimum point, and I just work out the value of a. Okay, tell you why I'm pausing. I'm pausing because I don't know why I have 2 points. Surely I can just work out a using 1 point. All right, okay, maximum or minimum. So let's differentiate first. So if I differentiate, that's going to give me 3x squared minus x plus a. If we use this first point here, that means that x equals minus 2/3. Well, remember, if it's a maximum point, it means that dy dx is equal to 0. So that means 3 times minus 2/3 squared, which is 4/9, minus 2/3 is plus 2/3, plus a is equal to 0, which means, well, 3/9 cancels one of the 3, so that's 4/3, plus 2/3 plus a is equal to 0. 4/3 plus 2/3 is 6/3, which is 2, which means that a is equal to minus 2. Now, I don't think I need to do this next step. I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm also going to say that x is equal to 1, because that must also be the case that 3 times 1 squared, which is 1, minus 1 plus a is equal to 0, because that's also a turning point. 3 minus 1 is 2, and I've got the same thing again, which also means that a is minus 2. So the second part was really not essential, but it's always good to double check you've got the right answer. Had it been 2 different values of a, well, that would mean that it just doesn't work. It's an invalid function, and it would be a wrong question. It would be very unhelpful. But either way, I think we've got there. Happy with that. That turned out to be quite a difficult mix of questions. It started okay. Second question, not too bad, although I think the wording was slightly strange, but it was okay. Third question, really quite a challenging question. Very easy to get that one wrong, but nice, difficult question. And this third question, again, I think it feels like there's a part B that I haven't used somewhere, but again, make sure you got that one as well. Let me know how you did. And as ever, please do like and subscribe. Definitely subscribe, please. I'd like this channel to grow a lot more, and it really, as I say, helps the algorithm. But either way, I will see you tomorrow for the next set of questions. Thanks all.